Fabulous. Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Professor Kalsee, and this is the Divination Academy, and I am so excited that you're here with us tonight and so happy that you found us. Tonight's class is part of one of many of my series I teach. This one is all on Ascended Masters, and today we're going to talk about the blue ray of light aspect of working with the Ascended Masters. I am also going to do some review because it's been a while since we worked with them. I did the first class on these a little bit a while ago, and then I did one specifically on Mary Magdalene alone. And not with a ray of light actually at all, just with her specifically. So we are going to do a little bit of review, and then we'll talk about the blue ray of light. We'll talk about one of the most popular Ascended Masters to work with that light and to work with that energy, and then that will be class for tonight. Thank you for all of your guys' patience with me the last couple of weeks with classes being canceled and changing. I know I have a lot that I need to get back on the schedule. I am working with that. I got a lot going on in life right now, medically, mentally, like every area you can possibly think of. So thank you for the patience. That's also why I'm not going to do any summoning work or anything tonight. I just my physical health is not back up to the point to where I can do that quite yet. So this is going to be a lot of teaching for you guys tonight. So I'm really, really excited for that. Some other housekeeping that we have to do here, because I do see some names that I haven't seen before. So since we possibly have some new people here, welcome. I'm so happy you found us. I'm so glad that you found us. And I'll tell you a little bit about who we are and give you some links to go to as well. So Divination Academy, we are a free pagan academy. We believe that education and resources should be free and accessible to all. So everything that we do, we teach for free. So all the professors here, and all of the admins, we put in all of our time here to give everything to you guys for free because that's what we believe in, what we really want to do for you. So we teach a lot of different pagan philosophies across a lot of different boards, and we don't believe in one way of practicing. We teach so many different cultures, and that's really what we're about here. And we have a ton of class topics. So if you want to look at anything that we've done before previously, you can go and check out our YouTube page. I'll pop the link in here quick unless, there we go. You can check out our YouTube page, which will be there. In the link for you. I think when I last checked, we had like 168 classes posted right now on a lot of different types of topics, from herbalism to demonology to Enochian magic to working with the moon to the history and mythology of the jinn. We have so many different topics that you can go take a peek at. You can also take a peek at the resources for our website. We have a lot of information there for you. So if teachers teach with study guide like I do, all of my study guides will get posted there. Other teachers, they do slideshows, and their slideshows and study guides will be posted there for you. We have lots of resources there as well, like books and places that you can go for citing information. So take a peek at that. We also have information about our private and apprenticeships that we offer, about who we are, about our admins, about just the academy in general, about the professors. There's just a lot of information on there you can go take a peek at. The next link I'll drop in here for you guys is going to be just our Facebook page. So if you're not an enrolled student and this is the first time you're finding us, definitely shoot us a DM, say that you'd like to enroll, so that you can get enrolled as a student. When you enroll as a student, you get access to our private Facebook community page group. You get access to our private Facebook community chats. You get access to professors a lot more frequently, and you just get to be a really big part of the community. So you can definitely join, enroll by sending us a direct message that way. And I put that link in the chat there for you as well. So last little bit of housekeeping that I have is because like I said, I do see a couple new names. You don't know who I am. And if you don't know who I am, I'll give you a little bit about me. So again, my name is Professor Kalsee. I think I've been teaching here probably since October. So for a little bit now. I teach a lot of variety of topics. I consider myself a gray witch practitioner, a mystic. I pull from everywhere in all pantheons. I pull from all parts of the religions and the aspects. I look at the cultural, historical, all parts of that. I live and thrive in the liminal space and the gray spaces. So I teach gray witchcraft. So I don't teach just love and light only. I teach from everywhere and every side and trying to create that balance and being that balance and that gray and that duality. I also work a lot with deities. So I do teach 2 series now about deities here. I love working with those energies. And I do a lot of ritualistic, ceremonial, and folk style type work because I've been a solitary practitioner my entire life, actually, until teaching here. So I am super, super excited to share my knowledge with you guys. In the link in the chat, I did just drop a link for you guys. That's the study guide for class tonight. I teach from a study guide, so everything I teach is already right there for you. I'll be teaching directly from there. You can follow on from there if you would like, or you have it for later to come back to as well. So if there's any questions now, any comments, if anybody wants to say if they know anything about working with the blue ray of light, if they know anything about ascended masters or anything like that, now's the time that you can do that. Otherwise, we'll just jump right into class. Go ahead, honey.
First, hi, it's nice to see you back.
Oh no, can I not hear you? Gosh, dang it.
Oh, wait.
Don't tell me my volume's honey, you might have to put it in the chat. I'm really sorry. I might not be able to hear you for some reason.
It's okay.
Sometimes my
Right, you
computer
can't hear
does
me.
this. Hold on. Sometimes my computer switches to weird audios. Now let's see. Okay, try again.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, fixed it. Okay, cool.
All
When
right.
we play certain games on our PC, sometimes we have to go and mess with the audio, and so sometimes that happens. Okay, what do you got for me?
You're good. I said it's really nice to see you back. I missed
Thank
you.
you.
It's nice
Thank
having
you.
class
I
too.
really appreciate it. I'm not at 100%, but I couldn't keep not being here, so that's why I'm back.
Well, don't push yourself too hard.
That's why I'm not summoning anything or doing any type of meditations tonight.
All right.
I know I physically just can't do it.
Okay. It's actually a question about the study guide.
Yes.
I know you like to have us look stuff up, but you also put normally a little something about each person, and it looks like there's one person here that doesn't have anything.
What, did I miss something for somebody? Who did I miss it for?
Page 17, El Moira, founder of Theosophy. His name is in bold, but then there's nothing underneath it. And then it jumps to Master Kuthumi.
Oh, they're the same person.
Oh, the same person?
Yep, they're the same person.
Oh, okay, I was wondering
So
that too.
it's just the spacing on the page. It's just the spacing on the page.
Okay.
That's why. So yep, I'm looking at it. It just must be like the screen or the spacing, but they're literally like they're tied together as like the same type of person together. I'll explain it a little bit more, but they go together.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I just want to make sure.
Gotcha. No problem. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Or comments or anything at all? Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, if I have to pause more frequently, you guys, I apologize. If I cough more frequently, I apologize. To not like give too much, not trigger too much. I relapsed with an eating disorder, which caused a lot of medical things to start happening for me. So I'm just kind of really weak right now. So if that happens, just bear with me. Hey Melissa, what's up?
Hey, great to see you. I'm happy for your little business. I hope it gets huge and not little.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask and maybe like, I don't know, what your thoughts on maybe like a prayer circle for when we're not feeling well and since we're a community, can we ask to pray for one another and send blessings our way when we're not feeling well?
Oh
Like
yeah, for sure.
I wanted to offer that, like, girl, I don't know if you feel like it's like not professional or something, but to be like, hey, I need prayer, like send some my way. What do you think?
Yeah, no, we can definitely do that. And actually, like when we're done with class, I'm sure I'm gonna jump into our admin chat and we have like groups and some new restructuring that we're doing, so we can probably even get a chat going that's open all the time for that too for people. That's a really good idea.
Yeah. I'm
That's a
always
super,
here
super.
to offer definitely a prayer and a prayer request. Maybe like a prayer request circle or something like that for our family.
That's a really, really cool idea. I super, super love it, and I'm gonna make this happen in some way, shape, or form.
Okay, cool.
Thank
Good
you,
to see you
Melissa.
again.
I love it. I appreciate it.
You bet.
Okay, anything else, anybody? That's a great idea. That's a super great idea. How have we not thought of that before? Huh. Yeah, honey too. That's a really sweet idea. Yep. I don't know how we missed that. We should have thought of that before. Okay, so I don't see anything else. So we will jump in. The study guide, I put the link in there, so it should be in the chat for you guys. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna review a little bit just to go over like what ascended masters are, like the basics of what they are and the energies and how to work with them and the difference between, them and, deities and things like that. And then we're gonna be specifically focusing on the blue ray of light. Oh, also, by the way, since I do know that there's some new names in here, I am not always looking at the chat. You can put questions in there whenever you would like. I pop in and out. If I'm looking at the chat all the time, I just can't teach. I get really distracted and I go on tangents. So, but also Honey is a moderator too, so she'll jump in too if she needs to, and she'll let me know if I need to see something super important. But feel free to, like I said, put questions in there whenever you want. I may not answer to them right away. So if I see something later, it doesn't make sense, I will say, I don't know when you said that, so could you clarify so I can answer that? But you can put chat questions in there all you like. I always have to put that disclaimer in. Because some people, they can teach and they can just like answer questions live like no other and not get distracted. I just can't do that. Okay, so like I said, we're going to do Ascended Masters and the Blue Ray of Light. So Ascended Masters, really, what are they? So beyond our ancestors, angels, spirit guides, deities, that's the common things that people hear that we talk about, we call in to work with. And those are things that we call in for summoning, evocations, prayers, things like that. For guidance, meditation, we really hear those main things: ancestors, angels, spirit guides, deities, all of that. But we also have ascended masters. Ascended masters are another entity, another energy, another type of source that you can go to call on for so many different things, like endless amount of things, honestly. For guidance, for healing, for they really are there for awakening and ascension. Big reason why they're called ascended masters. So they really are there for making sure that we're really fully aligned and in tune with our sacred contracts, our sacred purposes, and with the collective, and the collective consciousness, and what our role is with helping that and achieving that. So ascended masters, they're really ready and willing and able to bring humanity into the next dimension, to help us achieve harmony, to help us just really be all around like that balance, almost like utopian like society and people. Obviously, it's a little far-fetched, but still, like that is the whole point of what ascended masters are. They're there to be that massive spiritual community. They're there to bring us into enlightenment, to bring us into the next dimension. They're there to make sure that we have a collective harmony and consciousness. But before we go in a little bit more further into that, I do want to discuss the difference between ascended masters and spirit guides, because there is a difference between the two. Though that's an argument within the spiritual community, magical community itself, and that's going to depend on your personal practice. Some people view their ascended masters as their spirit guides. And so like I have seen that go back and forth, and some people view like their ascended masters are the only spirit guides that they have, the only people that are guiding them and helping them. But the terms shouldn't be going back and forth. They aren't like interchangeable terms. They are actually separate entities, separate beings, and there is a difference between them. So the biggest difference about them is that ascended masters have fully ascended. They have broken free from their karmic wheel. They have broken free. They have learned their lessons. They're no longer going through this cycle of rebirth and redeath. They're no longer attached to that. They're no longer attached to the physical body, the physical plane. They have fully ascended. Not all spirit guides is that the case. And not all spirit guides have they had a human experience. That is another key difference between the two. Ascended masters, they have lived the human experience and they have gone through the process to ascend. So that is the biggest difference between the two, and where you'll feel that energy difference. Like I said, the biggest one is that the ascended masters, they've broken free from the wheel of karma and the cycle of death and rebirth. Like they've broken free from that. That's not necessarily the case for all spirit guides. Can spirit guides have done that and be ascended masters? Yes, but they aren't an interchangeable thing. Now from and you can have both. That's the thing too. It's like I personally believe we all have both, and we all have a plethora. I personally believe that, and I feel like I know that personally for myself. But and it is said that, you know, ascended masters, they can work hand in hand with your spirit guides, they can work together. They're really part of all of that, like family, and part of that sacred contract that you guys put together. They're there to support and guide you. It's just different energies, and it's coming from a different perspective. And that different perspective, it changes that. Actually living through that physical pain, that physical, having that physical body, the emotions of being human, and all. It's a different experience, and it creates a different perspective for that energy. Another disclaimer that I want to put here as well, because I keep seeing it all over the place. Not every single spirit encounter we have is going to be an actual spirit guide. So not every single time that you have an encounter with a spirit or an entity is a spirit guide. It could simply be that it's a spirit of a passed away loved one or friend or family member. It could be that it's just a spirit of anybody who's passed away. It could be a spirit guide that's passing through. Like, it could be an entity that simply is just curious and paying attention to you. It does not mean that like every single interaction you have is going to be a spirit guide. So I do want to put that disclaimer there on that, because I keep seeing that everywhere lately, and it's irking me. To learn more about spirit guides as well, if you'd like, I actually went really, really in depth on spirit guides in the first class. I don't know if that one's been posted to YouTube. If it hasn't, hopefully it'll get up. Hopefully one of us will get up there soon. Otherwise, I did put the link in the study guide to the study guide from that first class, which has all that information in there. That study guide's massive. I've got a lot of stuff in there. It's got A to Z Ascended Masters in there as well. Hold on, guys. Okay, so the term Ascended Master is kind of somewhat of a new topic, but the concept is actually incredibly ancient. It's been around for quite a long time. Actually, let me jump in the chat here just to quick see if we have any questions. Okay, do you guys have any questions since I've gone through that first little chunk here quick? Okay, I'm gonna jump back in here. Where's that tab? Okay, so like I said, the term Ascended Masters is somewhat of a new concept, somewhat of a new term, but the concept is actually incredibly ancient, and it crosses worldwide. There's a group of spiritual beings there's for eons, there's been a concept of a group of spiritual beings that's been guiding us since the beginning of time. They've been called different things. So you've seen them called many, 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 many different things across cultures: gods, saints, light, elves, valkyries, the hidden company, the mighty dead, the great white lodge, archangels, archetypes, the galactic council, Loa. There's so many different things that they've been called. But when you kind of start to look at the list of Ascended Masters and look at Ascended Masters and these energies of who they are and what they really are and what they really represent, it's all of those are really just being classified as something else. That's really what it is. But they really are just elevated souls that are committed to really helping humanity into ascension. I'm really sorry, guys. This is just, I haven't talked this long in like a few weeks. Okay, so if we were to look at the spiritual hierarchy, where would Ascended Masters sit? So where they would sit is it's going to be somewhere in between and in the middle. Everybody's spiritual hierarchy and divinity hierarchy is a little bit different. I will give you mine, which I know is a little bit different than others. But for me, I don't even see like Ascended Masters, and I don't see gods as the ultimate high energy at all. I don't see it as the ultimate high spiritual hierarchy. They're at the top of the food chain. So for me, when you go all the way up, it's the universe, it's the source, it's all of that, energy. Within that, it's the multiverse. The source, the multiverse, the universe, because the universes exist within the multiverse. And then you have our gods, and then you would have Ascended Masters is going to be right in between the gods and the universe. They're going to fall like right in between those two. I sometimes will classify, depending on who Ascended Master is, below gods, but it really kind of depends, that energy and that frequency. Typically, though, I'm going to put them right in between gods and that universe energy. That's typically where I see and how they feel, and where I feel them in between within that hierarchy. Because depending on how you view gods and you worship gods and worship a god entity, sometimes we see it specifically just as an archetype. Sometimes we see them as their own specific entity. They do have access to divine entity, but ascended masters, like they've broken completely free of an absolute karmic recycle and rebirth. And though gods typically can't come back, they live incredibly extended periods of time. They have a large amount of domain, and gods didn't live that human experience first. Typically, not typically. There are some who were able to do that, but typically they're born with their divinity. So they don't have that human experience. They didn't experience that to actually be able to get out of their karmic debt and to go through that cycle. Now, I could be completely wrong because I am not a god. I do like, well, I am in a sense, but like the divinity aspect, like I could be completely wrong, and it could be that no, like they actually do keep going through rebirth and recycle. And when you are at that divinity level, that god level, that's just another rebirth level that you're at, and then you go. I could be completely wrong. So it really just it depends on your personal belief. You kind of have to look at that. But they would sit somewhere in that middle. That's where ascended masters are going to sit for you, somewhere in that spiritual hierarchy. So you need to look at it and feel kind of how you feel where they're going to sit, how important they feel that they are to you. Because some people put zero type of importance on even gods and deities energy. They don't view that as energy that like it doesn't even rank up here. Some of them it's way down here and it's below us. So it really depends on where it's going to sit in your spiritual hierarchy, but typically they're going to be somewhere in that middle for you. They really are a medium and a channel to get you to that universal source energy. They're there to connect you to that universal source energy in the highest, most pure form and way. They really act as guides, and they teach us to be in the highest possible vibration so that we can focus on ascension and raise our vibration, our consciousness to be able to ascend to where we need to be. In the past, it used to be thought that it was very rare for anybody to have an ascended master as a guide, and it was really only reserved for like old souls and those that were very advanced souls in their reincarnation state and in their reincarnation cycle, and in their awakening process. But for one, I don't think that was ever true. But today, it's actually really not rare, and we actually really believe that everybody has an ascended master. We've really come to believe and accept that. For one, it makes perfect sense, and I don't see why some would have ascended masters and some wouldn't. That's just really egotistical. And then we also live in a time of very big ascensions right now. Energies are changing. Things, so much is happening cosmically, and so much is happening in the universe and the multiverse right now. We're in a great energetic time of ascension, which I feel like is why people are also maybe just way more aware and attuned, and it's just way more in their face that their ascended masters are there, and we're more open to discussing it as well. Because we all have them. Like we all have them. They're part of your team of guides. They're part of your sacred contracts. They're part of your sacred purposes. They're part of that spirit family that sat at that round table with you when you guys decided that sacred contract before you came down to this life for this life plan. If you don't know anything about sacred contracts, by the way, and I keep saying that and that's confusing you, I did teach a class on that. I do send the study guide on the site. I don't know if it's posted yet, but the study guide is on the site. Okay, so one important thing that I do want to also like have you keep in mind with the ascended masters, you guys as well, and a disclaimer, they don't think that they're better or superior to you because they've ascended. They see themselves literally as being equal as you, and more accurately, literally just being one with you. And their ultimate goal is really just to help you fully awaken, so you can ascend yourself. So I'm gonna jump in the chat, see if we have any questions here quick. Oh, it is on YouTube. Cool. Good to know. Thank you, honey, for posting that because I didn't know if it was or not. Okay, any questions, any comments at all so far? Okay.
This may just be my tired brain not understanding correctly right now.
Mhm.
But can you explain what does it mean when you say we live in ascension times? Like,
So there's a lot of stuff energetically and cosmically going on. There's a lot of different shifts happening. to where we are shifting from a 4D, 3D consciousness into the 5D, 6D consciousness. When you look at, especially with the way like technology has been moving, especially when you look at the way that the planets have been shifting, the way the energy has been changing, the magnetic poles on the sun are going crazy. The sun's doing a lot of crazy stuff right now. The Earth, our magnetic poles are changing faster than they should be because our poles are constantly moving. It's happening faster than it should be right now. We have a lot of magnetic, it's just a lot of energetic and cosmic shift that's happening and a lot of activity. And so because of that, it's changing it to where because of that, it's elevating us into this awakening ascension time. If you look around and you kind of look into the spiritual community, even not even in the spiritual community alone, people are talking more about enlightenment, awakening. They're talking more about emotional intelligence. They're talking more about changing, healing, growing. It's also part of, the time that we're coming into for our zodiac signs and all of our planets and things like that. That is the energy that we are sitting in as a collective. That is literally the energy that we're sitting in. As a collective, we are in this very transformative, this very awakening, this very changing energy. And like I said, you can see it scientifically all over. Go look at what's going on with the sun right now. What's going on with the sun right now is insane and it is crazy. And it's just, there's a lot of stuff that's just really changing a lot within the universe and the solar system right now. Does that answer your question? Or, it probably also creates more, but
It does, but all that stuff's look upable. Thank you.
yes, you're welcome. But yeah, there's just a ton going on. Okay, any other questions or comments, guys? Okay. And for the newbies, I promise I don't normally look this exhausted teaching. I'm really coming back from a break. Okay, so we're gonna jump back in. So how karma relates to ascended masters, because I've talked about it a couple of times here now. We all have karma. We all have some version of it. And karma literally means to learn, which implies that we all have lessons to learn, which they can be carried over from past lives and they can be taken into our current life, which is what our soul sacred contracts and our sacred purposes are all about. So every single thing that you do will have an action and a reaction, which begins this process of us having karmic debt. And then our lives that we keep living are meant to clear our karmic debt and put us on a path of ascension. And eventually we'll be able to end that karmic cycle so that we can reincarnate out of our physical human form. So that's how they play a role with the ascended masters, because they did that. They went through all of that and they did all of that. And they were able to actually break free from that. So they know how to show you how to do that. So that's where karma plays into that. Okay. So they end up having special gifts and things, like I said, because I've talked about it before, because they've lived our life. They lived a human life. They lived a human experience. They know how to master our minds, our bodies, our emotions, our spirits, and to actually be able to cause us to ascend to higher realms. So that's why they end up being so potent. They end up having these special gifts, and it ends up being just a really, really awesome energy for us to work with. And why it's so worth it for us to work with them, because like I said, they really truly do understand. They've experienced it. They've lived it. They know what it feels like to actually help you work through it, rather than just being a guide. Okay. So now, because we're talking, okay, you guys, I'm getting really, really winded. So I think I'm going to not do so much more of the summary and have you guys check out that first class, especially now that I know that it's on YouTube. So I'm going to skip through in the study guide, the Galactic Federation of Light right now, because I'm getting really winded, really fast and really tired. And what the 7 rays of light are. So I'm going to do a quick overview. The 7 rays of light are subdivisions that make up the main source of energy that we all come from, and they're linked to the oneness of all that is. There are the expression from the creator, the God, the divine, and the qualities of the oneness, and everyone and everything comes from them. They are these super living intelligent sources of divine light. Each one of these lights is governed by a shohan or lord, which is also known as the ascended master that rules over that light or that ray. And it actually is thought of that Kohan actually originates from the Tibetan Buddhism, which literally translates from Lord or Master. But in this context, it literally just refers to the ascended masters that actually serve and live within that ray of light. And they embody the qualities to guide and to help guide the spiritual development of humanity within that ray of light. There are a lot of teachings on the 7 rays of light, and they go very far back into history. But the most common one, and what they kind of all agree on, is that when it comes to 7 rays of light, when you use all of these, when you learn all of these, you're able to learn all the lessons that you need to in order to understand and embody everything that is the divine will, divine intention, and the divine unconditional love of the multiverse and the universe and the source energy that we all come from. So that is why this is so important and why working with them helps us so much, is it really helps us get into that energetic space, and it helps guide us into the correct path for our ascension and our ascension and our enlightenment and our spiritual growth and development. So now let's take a look at the blue ray of light, which is the one specifically that I wanted to talk about tonight. In the first class, I went over all of the rays of light, what they all mean, what they all stand for, and I gave you some ascended masters to work for all of them. If this isn't the light that you want to start with, but each different class, I am breaking each light down a little bit for you guys, so you have a little bit more understanding of each one. So the blue ray of light is known as the ray of will and power, and it holds a unique position within the spectrum of the 7 rays because it represents the driving force behind creation, and it symbolizes the divine will in action. It is literally the manifestation of our purpose, our determination, our leadership is our power to act in alignment with our one self. It is really, really the light that is there to truly guide you to your path, your intuition, and to give you clarity. It anchors you in your purpose, in your strength, and your understanding of the divine will of the universe. This is actually one of my favorite ones to work with, because I like understanding the divine will of the universe. It sounds very like a small statement, but it's actually a very, very big statement. It's a big concept, and a very big energy to try to understand and comprehend. So sitting in that blue light and try to really anchor and understand that, understanding both how small and how big you are at the same time, and understanding both how little and how much control you have at the same time. That this ray of light really helps you understand that and understand that will of the universe. The energy of this blue light and this blue flame, I've seen it referenced as either the first or the second light. So there's not always agreement on the order of the rays of light and which one is ranked where, but typically I see the blue flame as either the first or the second. But it is considered the first and the final synthesis. It's really the source of all energies. It's the core of our strength. If you think about it, like, to me, like, it's like your vitality, like it's your core, it's your faith, it's your protection, like it's all of that. When you look at each ray, it has its own specific qualities and attributes and symbolisms. For this one, for the blue ray of light, willpower, which emphasizes your strong determination, your ability to overcome obstacles. You then have leadership, which fosters the qualities necessary for effective leadership and decision making. And then courage, which encourages bravery and resilience in the faces of challenges. For symbolism, obviously, we have the color blue. So obviously that's going to be the biggest symbolism for it. You can also work on focusing on symbolism for focus, clarity, and depth. And then the element that's very often associated to this one is fire, which really represents the transformative power. If you think about it, the hottest flames are blue and white, like the hottest flames of fire are those blue and white flames. So it's really like the hotter it burns, the more worth it the transformation is going to be, is kind of how I see it. So that is why it's really kind of connected to that. So I'm going to jump in the chat, see if you guys have any questions here. Okay, I got your message, Melissa. Thank you. I'll let you know if I get to the point where I need that. I want to finish class for you guys, but I am very, very exhausted right now, and I am overheating like crazy, but I'm going to finish for you guys. So the Blu-ray Masters. So the Blu-ray Ascended Masters, they are really beacons of light. So I want you to remember there is usually considered the Showan, which is the Lord of the Master of the Lights, is the main one, but there are honestly, there could be endless if you really want to look at it, depending on the cultures and history and where you want to pull from. Endless different choices that you could pick. You just want to make sure that they represent and they connect to that energy that you're looking to represent. So you want to make sure it represents, connects to that Blu-ray. So the Blu-ray Masters, they are going to be brilliant beacons of light. They really shine and share in their souls through unconditional love on all levels. They really like to be of service to others. They have very, very unique gifts that they like to use to help support change. They like to love and guide people in powerful ways back to wisdom within themselves. They really help on focusing people to remember why they're here so that they can shift and lift their light through clear communication, meditation, and very inspired intention. So they really are great, these masters. Like I said, they're great for helping you figure out and really get you on that clarity for your soul contract and your soul purpose. So Blu-ray Ascended Masters, they're teachers above all else, like they're teachers of teachers. Most of them have also walked incredibly difficult paths that have been very challenging, that have been incredibly heartbreaking, and have been so full of pain and hurt that the capacity seemed almost overwhelming and completely unbearable for a body and for a soul to be able to withstand. That is a very common theme across this specific ray of light. Is these are the masters to where they have the ability to offer such a huge heart space and to create such big transformation because they walked such a painful path in existence. And they experienced a lot of suffering. Very, very common theme. The Blu-ray Ascended Masters, they're considered the spiritual navigators of the divine plane, activating the heart center blueprint through healing, communicating, light language, meditation, and many more powerful modalities. They are the bearers of the light that will lead the way for souls to navigate their own inner realms, knowing it is love that lightens the load, brightens the road, and eliminates the divine direction for all souls to fully complete their creative contract upon this planet. There are really countless ascended masters that we can all call on and work with. Really countless. But the most common one is the one that we're going to talk about here. This is Master El Mora, the Chohan presiding over the blue ray. He embodies the qualities of courage, determination, and an unwavering focus. He is a spiritual leader and a guiding light, and assists those in the path to aligning their personal will with the divine intention. Okay, you want to know what, Melissa? I'm going to take you up on that offer that you sent me a direct message about. We're going to switch up class here a little bit, guys. I'm going to have Melissa jump in and start reading from the study guide where I'm at for me. So I can take a break from talking so much. And then if I need to jump in and put a disclaimer, I will. Are you okay with that still, Melissa?
Yeah. Are we on the second paragraph under El Morva?
Yep.
Okay. Ascended Master El Morva is credited as one of the founders of the Theo something Theosophy. The help me out.
Theosophy.
Theosophy. Okay. In this guide here, like at the very end of the words, they're kind of cut off a little bit. I don't know why. The
What type of screen are you on? Are you on a
I'm on my phone.
Are you maybe it's because
Could be that's too small.
that could be
But
it. Yeah.
yeah, I'll try my best. All right. The Chohan, is that a CHO of the Blue Ray and serves as the chief of the Duralina Council within the Great White Brotherhood. He embodies and personifies the divine attributes of courage, certainty, power, forthrightness, self-reliance, and that word, donability,
Dependability.
dependability. See, yeah.
Sorry, I'm
Faith.
muting myself. So if it takes me a minute, that's because I have to unmute myself.
Okay. Faith and initiative, earning him the title of Master of Divine Will. According to Elizabeth Clare, prophet lords of the seven rays, seven masters, their past lives, and keys of our future, El Morva attained spiritual mastery throughout lives of selfless service and the pursuit of divine wisdom. Throughout his incarnations, Master El Morva demonstrated an unwavering commitment to spiritual development, seeking wisdom, and serving humanity in different roles. The next ascended master is Akbar the Great. When I read this at
Okay,
first,
I'm
I
gonna
was
jump
like,
in here now.
okay, go for it.
So the reason why I'm jumping in is just because it's not the next ascended master. All of these are what is considered to be his lifetimes. So these are all
Oh,
reincarnations of El Morro. So
cool.
these are who he is thought and said and tracked to be throughout history. And these are who you can call on to access El Morro and to access this ray of light and this energy.
Okay. So when I read the name Akbar, I think of Allah Akbar, right? Because I hear that a lot, and I'm not necessarily sure how that sort of translates.
So
But
this is referring to Akbar the Great, which is he's an emperor from India.
mhm.
And then technically, Elmore is also considered to be Abraham. So depending on where you want to go with who Abraham is within multiple different religions, it could come kind of, I could kind of see it coming up kind of there too, if that makes sense.
Yeah, many incarnations, right?
Yes, many.
All right. So Akbar the Great, in one of his significant past incarnations, El Morva is believed to have been the renowned Akbar the Great. Is that a Munhal?
MUG.
Mug, the Mughal
Yep.
emperor of India during the 16th century and 17th centuries. Akbar is celebrated for his aggressive policies, religious tolerance, and efforts to promote unity among diverse communities. His emphasis and learning and spiritual wisdom resonated with El Morva's quest for higher knowledge and universal brotherhood as Akbar. El Morva played a pivotal role in nurturing cultural and intellectual exchange, leaving a legacy of openness and harmony in his wake. Beautiful. Abraham, in another incarnation, El Morva is associated with the biblical figure of Abraham. Revered as the patriarch of monotheism, Abraham's unwavering faith in the one true God and his willingness to follow divine guidance serve as
Archetypal.
archetypal examples of spiritual dedication. Just as El Morva's teaching emphasized the importance of trust in the divine and the power of faith, Abraham's journey symbolizes the path of surrendering to the higher will and embracing the call of higher purpose. I don't know what this word is.
Okay. Melissa, I'm
You
gonna
can,
jump in here for you, okay?
yeah, do it.
Okay, so I'm gonna summarize these past lives, and you guys can read them in the study guide. And then I'm gonna go over and give you a summarize of how to connect to the blue ray of light. And then I think I'm gonna end class, guys, because I honestly, it's getting really hard for me to even sit up right now. And I'm really sorry, and I feel really bad right now, but I'm gonna try and do this for you guys really quick. So the rest of the incarnations, you have Melchior, which is traditionally known as one of the three wise men. So you can take a peek at that. You have King Arthur, you have Thomas More, which is considered, he is a 16th century English lawyer and philosopher and statesman. He really is profound in theosophical teachings. And then you have Master Kuthamui. Huge part of his reincarnation. This is the lifetime where it's thought that he ascended, because of all the work that he did for bringing in the principles and foundations of the Theosophical Society. So you can take a quick and read on that. So how to connect with the blue ray of light. Connecting with ascended masters can be a lot more easier than you think. So first you just want to make sure you raise your vibration. Purification, make sure you're cleansing your mind, so you're clearing your mind and cleansing your soul. And doing meditation is a great way that you can do that. You can also become Reiki attuned. You can do visualization work by visualizing and working with the color blue, and then visualizing and working with the blue flame itself. You can also use affirmations. And then make sure that you're doing life applications with the blue ray of light, like decision-making, leadership roles, and spiritual alignment. Okay, guys, I'm so sorry. That was really fast. I'm so sorry, you guys. That was really fast. If you guys want to stay in class and chit chat and like go over the study guide, you guys totally can. But I'm gonna have to dip out actually right now. Like I feel like I'm actually probably about to be sick. And I am really overheating and sweating like profusely, and I feel really bad. I'm so sorry, guys. I really thought that I was ready to come back physically and be able to like sit and talk, but this was a lot more exhausting than I thought. So I really apologize. I will probably have to redo this class for you guys and get you guys a summary. But have a good night. I'm going to shut the recording off. If you guys want to stay, you can stay. But I am going to shut the recording off and you guys can